Hello, 77 subscribers. Hey guys, I'm super angry right now. I'm pissed on, so that's why I decided to record this video. I need to breathe. Okay. So, let me give you the timeline. We've been talking to one client for probably 4 months. And this is a potential AI solution that would cost them $11,000 to $12,000. So, it's a pretty big project. I think if we're not gonna work with this client, which we probably won't, I'll, share the prototype that we did, and we'll provide a few ideas because it's not under NDA, so that's okay. So we've been talking with this guys for like a few months. We had probably 3 or 4 conferences, meetings, um, to discuss, to discuss all the requirements and all the things that they would want to see from the final solution. And we decided, and they decided to go for the prototype. Of course, it's not the free prototype. They paid for it. We provided the proposal. We provided the contract. We signed the contract. And then in 2 weeks, we, presented them the actual thing, the prototype. The way we present prototypes vary depending on the client, but usually these are video recordings of my screen. Of course, you might say that it's better to show it in live to see the reaction, but I don't usually agree. Maybe like in some niches, but in our case, since AI is very new, and these guys usually are excited to learn more and on what AI can do besides just working on the specific thing for their business. They are just curious, right? So they are always happy when we provide as much details as we can, explaining how it works. Like it would, be the same way as, you run and Facebook ads for your client, and you would explain them, what are the creatives that you use and why you chose them, how it, appeals to their audience. And it does make a difference. So if you shoot the results, it's pretty clear if either it's working or not. But I believe that usually business owners or marketing managers or directors curious to learn more. But we always ask, so do you want, to have a meeting where we present it, or do you want us to record you the video? So they chose, the video. I recorded the video for, 20 to 25 minutes. Again, it's pretty long, yes, but it's a complex project. And the main part of this project is to connect the system to their ERP on the backend. They use SAP Business One. And obviously, we did not do that for the prototype. So we just used the Airtable as the snapshot of their ERP, and then connected the system to the ERP, to the Airtable. Anyways, and I was, explaining how it will work in the final version. So all these things. But then I got a reply that, probably most of the why we actually faced in this situation and why it happened, I think it was primarily because of the language barrier. These guys are from Canada, so their their main language is French, and he's the owner of the business. It's pretty big business. He speak English good. I think like my English, my grammar is not the best, but I think his English worse. So it was, misunderstanding, I think. So what happened is that he was telling me that why you recorded such a long video, I just care about the final result. I said, okay. I mean, I explained why, I thought you're curious. And because we had like 4 meetings, we were discussing, he had a lot of questions on the back end of the security, how it works, how different layers works. So I was, trying to provide the details, but that's okay. He just care, he paid the money and he just want to see the result. Awesome. So I recorded another video, I think it was like 6 minutes, just showing the actual thing without any explanation, like with some words here and there. It was yesterday. Um, so then I got a reply today that like he was saying, Eugene, it is not what I asked, what did you do? It's not what we talked about, and got like 10 question marks. He was, pretty like angry, right? He did not I think he was not understanding. Okay, so it's not anything close to what we discussed. So this is what I got from his messages. But the thing here is that it was, I think it was one of the best prototypes that we actually did for any of our clients, because I was pretty proud of it. That's why, I was pretty excited with the like going through the video in the long format, going through the thing and explaining how it works, because I was pretty confident that this is the solution they needed. And we obviously had a contract, had a proposal, so all these things were in place, and we have 70 messages in the email sequence. So we were discussing about all the things, and I knew that this is exactly what we discussed. And he was, pretty pissed and asking like all these different things, like why you actually even showing it to me. So I got on the call with him, and he said that, Eugene, what did you send? Like, it's not like what I asked. Like, and he was like providing some examples. So I've been looking for a product recommendation. So he was listing the things that I've never actually heard about before. Like, I probably did hear it on the first meetings when we were discussing the final solution, but not for the prototype. And I was literally saying, hey, okay, I understand, but like I record all the meetings using Fireflies. I have the proposal, I have the contract, so it's listed there. So like oh, can we talk about it, like, because it is exactly what you asked about. And please understand, of course I'm sad. I'm like 99% positive that we lost this client. We lost like 10 grand, of course. It's pretty sad. I'm not that rich to lose this money and not care, but I'm more angry on the fact that when people are saying that we built a bad solution, so that I would prefer to for him to say, Eugene, okay, so yes, I understand what you built. It is doing the tasks, but this is not what we're looking for. Since 1 2 3, maybe provide us some feedback and then end the conversation. Okay, so like I kind of get the feedback at least and understand that. Okay, so maybe we did something wrong. Maybe there were like miscommunications, so all these things. But just get a reply saying that it's bad. It's not what I'm looking for. Where it's exactly what we discussed. So I'm pretty confused. But the interesting part, so actually, I told you that I called him and he was saying, Eugene, okay, so I have a lunch, so it's not the best time to talk to me when I'm hungry. So call me in a few hours. So I will have another conversation with him probably like in an hour or so, and I will record this conversation so that you can actually listen. I hope he picks up the phone and we'll talk. I don't think that he'll mention any private details. That I would need to hide. Yeah, so I think it should be good. But I'm pretty positive that I lost this client. Yeah. Um. Anyways, okay. So we'll see how it goes. So here's a cut, and then our conversation. Okay. So this is a second part of the video. I'm gonna call him right now. I mean, again, guys, as I said, if I bet my money, I would bet that everything will end on this conversation. My goal will be to explain him that this is what we discussed for the prototype, but maybe I'll argue, this is we'll see. We'll see how it works, and we'll see how it goes. But if I'll have a chance, maybe I will, say sure. Because you need to understand one thing is that we do not earn money on prototypes. So because we spend a lot on even like the tokens and fine tuning in the platform. Of course, I can cover it myself, but it's just more on the commitment from their side. So maybe I will say something like, okay, we can, do what you were kind of expecting us to do on the prototype. But guys, like it's not gonna work. I am pretty sure, since just thinking of yourself, like how, especially with the communication and with the, I guess, language barrier, and that because it was even for me really hard to get what exactly they were looking for, and that's why we had a lot of meetings. So even right now, I'm not sure. So I am dialing the number right now. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Uh. Wait. So. Um. Sorry. Okay, so it's. Asher, hi. This is Eugen again. Hi. Do you have a time, 5-10 minutes to talk? Listen, what you presented is not what it is that I'm looking at. You provided a very basic function that really not required. And I believe we're going to be wasting our time if we are following that, because I gave you very, very defined requirements and needs. And you come back with a very, very narrow, you came back with stories that I don't know where you come from. And truthfully, the result of what you're demonstrating does not show anything. With that said, you're not able to connect to the database. You're not able to be able to source information that's required to allow the AI to produce information that has some substance. And you're coming with a narrow 4 or 5 line of data that you source from a spreadsheet that my 2-year-old grandson could pull. And you call it a prototype. Okay, Asher. So do you want me to explain, or you want just finish the partnership? And I mean, I don't believe there is merit to what you've done. So will you give me a few words to say and explain? Go ahead. Sure. So of course I do think that you will not probably continue to work with us. I just want to explain, because I know that this is a pretty expensive project. It could be we could obviously you could benefit from it, I could earn a lot of money from it. But the thing is that, like, I just don't want you to think that we did not do what was promised and expected. So this is why I'm like trying to give you an explanation. So I am actually looking. So we had I checked 4 meetings, and I have all the recordings of all these meetings. I have the notes, I have the proposal, the contract. So in general terms, you were, since I have, all the transcript, I'm looking at it right now. The main idea for the prototype was for you to verify two things. First, that we as an agency can do what you need us to do, right? And the second one is that AI is able to handle all of the things inside your project. So these are the two goals for the prototype. So your main concern was the security. So it was, we dedicated like probably an hour of talking of different layers to access information, like right, for the sales reps, for the general public, and for your clients. And we talked with you. So this was, minute like 30 and second 51. So I have the transcript right on our last meeting, and we mentioned that you actually were saying that you want the clients to have access to their specific accounts based on the information they have there. So this is what we build the prototype around, basically to show you how the layers of security gonna work. So this is why I was showing that when they provide an account number, it is asking for the email. If the email is wrong, it will not give them this information. If the email is correct.
This is the basic interaction with the system. This has nothing to do with the merit of what the AI to provide. And you missed the point. Because you didn't give no indication of the fact that you need to validate your account and to make sure that no one infringe on that. It wasn't a question that you cannot do.
Of course, yeah.
You made it very clear that you can.
Yes, of course.
But the fact is that the information, the essential information that we're looking to gain from that tool, it has not been demonstrated.
But okay, can you maybe tell me what you were expecting from the prototype? Because, and correct me if I'm wrong.
I was expecting from you to allow us to see what the AI can do for a customer to want to interact with our customer service AI and ask him a question about which hammer did I buy last month? How many did I buy? What was the cost? Recommend me other hammers similar.
Yeah, Asher, yes, for sure, 100%. But I thought, from my understanding, and this is what I was explaining, again, I have it on me here, that it's not, so you saw the database, right? So you said even 2 years old can understand it. It's very simple. The database, there's an account and all the information about this account, right? And in the real use case in SAP, there are, in my snapshot of the database, there are 10 columns, right? In your SAP, there are 100 columns. Same things, items purchased, managers, prices, balance.
I believe, Eugene, you have a problem on two fronts. One, you don't have a bridge to the database. You enter to the SAP as a user, not to the SQL database, and have the expertise and experience to be able to interact with the database based on the layer of the data that's stored outside the ERP. And with that, if you're not going to have that basket of knowledge, you won't be able to exercise your AI in a fashion that will provide us all the data that we need to digest any request of anyone. I know for a fact that AI can, but how this the accessing and pulling the data from SQL is where you have to put the attention at your end. One thing I would recommend you, once you figure a way to be able to interact with the SQL database and come back to me with a solution that makes sense to me, I'll have another conversation with you. But based on the fact that you have the ability to validate a certain data based on pulling it to Excel spreadsheet and managing this data off Excel spreadsheet, it's not something that's going to convince me to go forward with anything that you're going to offer to me. What you have to literally do your research in regards to how can you interact to SAP database, whether it's SQL or HANA, and gather whatever pipeline that you need to build to extract this data to provide the information that I require you to, or you claim you can, and demonstrate that to me as a test. And then we could move forward. The validation, in security, most definitely it's essential to any partner of yours, current and future. They don't want to make sure that there's no infringement. The fact that you have a solution, great. I mean, that should be the basic to any interaction. No one will go ahead with any type of introducing a foreign tool without having the ability to protect the customer integrity as well as the integrity of your database. So I think that you want to go back and digest what it is that I told you and convince me that you have the ability to interact with the database and that you are able to provide the required information. I am not technical. I do not need to know how and when. All I need to know is that's the solution based on what it is your requirement. We can deliver, and here is the sample that we could prove ourselves. And that's what I was expecting. Other than that, I really don't care for anything else.
Sure. Just a few things. Yeah, I understand it completely. So, just to make sure, first, we like if you are saying that we can't interact with SQL.
I didn't say you can't. I didn't say.
Okay.
I say that I will need for you to demonstrate that you are able to.
Okay, yes. Okay, great. So this is the question because, as I mentioned, the prototype is made for you to verify that we are legit. And I thought that the interaction with SQL and the SAP is out of the question. And I did not, I'll be honest, I'll say how it is. And I actually mentioned it on our previous meetings that maybe it was not clear. It's my bad. Probably, maybe it's the language barrier that we cannot directly connect to SAP for the prototype since the SAP is pretty, old school, big software with huge documentation. The process would usually take, 7 to 10 days. And I'm not able to dedicate my dev team to implementing this in the prototype, so that's why it was not built. And I understand from your side, but you need to know that we are able, and you need to verify it. Basically, you need to see that this is the thing. And this is actually what I was explaining on the first big video, that the spreadsheet that you looked up, the Airtable where the data is stored, this is basically a basic, this is the SQL but with a no code. So this is the database which holds all the info. It doesn't matter where the info is, so it will interact the same way. So that was the idea, and I thought that you see, okay, Eugen know how to build the AI to give the layers of security, right? One. Second, AI can understand people intents. You saw okay, what's my balance? What's the address? The same question would be what's the product I bought? What was the price? Can you recommend me something? These are the same type of questions, what's the balance? AI is able to understand it, pull out the information from the database. So you understood it from the prototype. And the last question, which is happening right now, is you are asking, okay, Eugene, but we are not sure that you can connect to the SQL. Am I correct?
I did not say that we are not sure. I need to know that you actually demonstrating that you can.
Okay, so you would love to see the same prototype interacting with your current SQL, right?
I need to test the fact that the function that we're looking, whether it's in the narrow range or all range, but not to validate account information. I mean,
okay, yeah, I understand. But do you get my point that the prototype, it's not going to be the final solution?
okay.
So you need, just to clarify, so you would need us to move forward. You would need the prototype to interact with the SQL.
I'm sorry?
So to move forward, you need to see that we can interact with the SQL, because I'm saying that we can. If you see that this prototype works the same way as you would expect, it can get all the intents of the user queries, of the questions. We would, when we build the final solution, when we start working, the first week would be dedicated to connecting the AI.
But
This
Eugene, you most definitely have to provide me with the assurance that you could provide a full integrated AI that will be able to pull all the data required based on my communication with you. And I was expecting this particular prototype that you will demonstrate that. Now, if you claim you could do it, go back to your drawing board. Show me what it is that I can do, and not you running an actual video. Allow me to interact with your AI and ask the question I believe that should be. And we talked about the 3 levels, the full solution. Now, I understand that it could be work in progress and you could be able to provide the first stage, but the fact is that I need to feel comfortable that the end result of whatever it is that you're looking for will be one that we could see. And truthfully, not all that you're going to pull and play. That's
Okay.
not convincing for me.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Got it. So basically, and to clarify, first you mentioned like to provide you the link to play around, for you to, interact with this thing. It is doable.
And not to provide me the link, you could be online and allow me to interact. Doesn't have to be a link. It could be I could log into your PC and do it off your PC if need be.
But like, sorry for like asking it over and over, but I just want to be clear. Will you able to make a decision if we want to move forward or not, for without actually us connecting to the SQL on the prototype? If we do everything on the spreadsheet right now, you interact, you make sure that
It's not convincing. It's not convincing that you're going to be able to deliver results pulling from a spreadsheet. Does not convince me.
Okay, I understand. So do I okay, got it. I understand your point, makes sense. So do I'll talk to my team, either will be
And
able.
Eugene,
Yeah.
it is not only me. It's any business one user, any company that utilizes business one. If you could demonstrate that you did was one, you're gonna open up opportunities across the world with business one.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let me talk to my team. And also, if I have, let's say we decide to, actually show it to you, dedicate our time in building. So do I talk to Jatinder?
Yeah.
So he has all the info, right? He able to provide me all the information.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, this is what I was looking for, just the feedback. I understand your point, it makes sense. So you need to make sure, it needs to be convincing.
So I believe I mentioned that in the last conversation we had that pulling stuff from spreadsheets is not something that I'm going to jump on. It doesn't really make sense to me. It doesn't demonstrate abilities. In any event, with that said, the ball's in your part. Let me know what you want to do and how you're going to do, and hopefully we'll take it from there.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you know tomorrow if good. I'll talk to Yatinder to get all the information, and we'll go from there.
Jatinder might not be in tomorrow. I'm not sure because he wasn't well today. I hope he'll be back, but communicate via email if you respond.
Yeah, sure.
Otherwise, it might be the day after or early next week.
Sure, for sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for the response, for the feedback.
Have, have a great afternoon.
Yeah,
Bye.
you too. Bye. Okay, guys. So I'm actually wet. Okay, so what we understood from this call, yeah, it was miscommunication from my side, probably, that I didn't make it clear that we are not able to actually connect to the system on the prototype, since again this is the SAP is very very complex system, right? So I'll be honest, like, to you, of course I have the dev team, but they are not, like, we haven't actually worked with the SAP. I talked to a few guys. They said that this is fucking hell. SAP is very very complex. It's the very old school software. It's a huge company, and it's not like a startup that has the great documentation and all these things. So I'm just thinking what I'm gonna do, because of course we'll dedicate more of our time. So, mm, do I really want it? Like, it seems like he's interested, right? So he's like talking. He's trying to get the solution. He kind of like needs it, but like I'm worried, that I would dedicate all the time on actually building the thing, connecting to the SAP, and then he said, "Oh, okay, this is not like what we are looking for again." And of course, I'm not able to charge him any more money. Like, I'm not gonna say, "Hey, pay us, another like few more $1,000, and we'll like do that." It's not the way to work. So I could probably, if any of you guys are specialists in SAP, let me know, but probably not. I would, I'll talk. Maybe we'll have a consultant from somewhere like Upwork, on the SAP, talk to our dev team, and we'll go from there. We'll talk to his. He has, the Indian guy who handles the servers, I guess, um, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so this is real life, guys, not some bullshit selling 5K in 1 minute. Okay, I hope you liked it. Give me a subscribe, please. If you want us to build a similar solution, maybe not with the SAP, we'll see how it goes. Let me know, book a call. If not, no, okay. At least post something in the comments, so that I this video gets viral and I have 100 more subscribers. Okay, guys, take care. Peace.